Shabbat shalom, everyone. Welcome to another week. Feel land at Temple Keep Ream, where we're going to be doing the first class this morning. For those that's tuning in now, make sure that you subscribe, that you like, and you share this channel. It's going to be some great topics, some great scriptures put out, and also a great lesson. To get started, we want to say what we're thankful for. Anything that may have happened this week. Even on yesterday, whatever day it might have been, this is the moment where we say what we're thankful for to the Creator or to the eternal power. For those of you that's in the YouTube comments, you can write in there what you're thankful for, and we can read it, put it on the screen so everyone can see. And for those that are on here later, you can still write in the comments. We would love to hear what you're thankful for. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with those here present right now. Anyone want to speak and say what they're thankful for here? I can go ahead and get started. I don't know if it's come up to the podium, breaking up on you all's end. We see people coming in right now. Shabbat shalom. I see it's people live right now coming in. Please let us know what you're thankful for. This is the portion of the class to where we're saying what we're thankful for to the Most High. All right, you can put it in the chat. We'll put it on the screen so people can see it. All right. Well, I guess I'll go ahead. You can. We can hear you.
Okay, this is Gibbeted Autumn for those who can't see me right now, but
You might have to get a little closer.
I'm just thanking the Most High for another week of peace and life. I'm thankful that brought our Zakena to Syria here with us in Georgia, and I'm thankful she was able to make it here and be in one piece and come here safely. And basically, it was a pretty cool week. It was really chill. We got a lot of things done that needed to get done. We had a wonderful Shabbat dinner last night yet again with family and friends. It was beautiful. And I'm just thankful that it was a peaceful week. Say who?
May the Most High be praised. Torah Rabbah, Torah Rabbah, Todah Rabbah. All right. All right. Todah. Hopefully you all can hear me on you all's end over there at the Mishkan at the Knesset. Does anyone else here presently have anything they want to say they're thankful for? And those in the comment section, Shabbat Shalom, please let us know what you're thankful for. We'll post it on the screen for those that's watching to be able to see. And please, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you share this link, this YouTube link. All right, we have Gabarrett Gabby. I'm going to put it on the screen. She says that I'm thankful for spiritual and mental healing, my children and family in Yah. Todah. All right, Princess, were you about to say anything?
Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Total Most High for bringing us to another Shabbat day. I'm always thankful for, as I say every week, for the Shabbat day, because it's one of the only days that I get to sleep past a certain time and really just relish in the resting part of the day. So I'm thankful for the Most High allowing that to be for many of us who don't get to rest a lot throughout the week, but who really get to take advantage of the Shabbat day and rest, sleep in a little longer than normal. I'm thankful that the Most High has blessed us with the presence of so much family. He has brought back my daughter from Africa safely. She arrived home on Yom Revi'i. And so I'm thankful for her experiences, just just being able to share with her the growth that has taken place in her from visiting the continent of Africa for the time of her life. I'm thankful, as my sister wife mentioned, as Aquina, our elder, arrived on the land safely, and thankful for her presence, always thankful for the elder's presence, in the midst of us. I'm thankful we had a beautiful week of just progression of business within our community, taking different steps to further our education and the education of our children. So I'm definitely thankful for the Most High opening up the avenues for us to be able to go and access the things that we're able to access to secure our future in different aspects of this world. I'm definitely thankful for my Abba's life. I'm in deep prayer for my uncle who had to be intubated yesterday, my Uncle Sekou, and just praying that the Most High heal him, but whatever the Most High chooses, that it is his will, and that the Most High brings strength to my aunt and my cousins as they do their best to take care of their father in his time of need. And just in prayer for my sister Ishur, who is saying her goodbyes to her Ima today. And just, acknowledging that life is really what we make it, as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do as we see fit, that the Most High has told us to do. And, we live it with our best integrity and righteousness. Then may the Most High continue to bless all of us who are striving to be in the forefront of righteousness and right before the people. So, so much to be thankful for, so much to be in prayer for, and I just pray that the Most High continues to bless all the souls that are in need, most importantly.
May the Most High be praised. Torah Sharing. May the Most High be praised.
All right. So for that, we have Geber Chaza, and she says, what needs to be known will come to light. Reaping what we sow is good as long as we're good. Torah. Any comments on that comment? All right. So I guess I'll go. Again, for those that's in the comment section virtually, YouTube, please put what you're thankful for, and we'll post it on the screen for those to see. And also make sure you subscribe and share to friends and family. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say what I'm thankful for. First, I want to give honor and praise to the eternal power, the creator of heaven and earth, the king of all. I am thankful for another day of life. I'm thankful for the Most High waking each and every one of us up. Thankful for not hearing any bad reports in regards to my family here, of course, and also my family in the Chicago area and South Carolina area. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful to have, as I always say, peace in the midst of all the chaos that we go through as Yisrael. So I'm just thankful for that. And just want to give honor and praise to the Most High, just for another day of life, being able to breathe, being able to function properly. Even if it's any aches and things that we have, that's just letting us know that we are alive, and we probably have to do something to fix that situation. A lot of times we're in that ache or in that pain due to that. So I'm just thankful. That I'm able to understand that, and I hope that those that's listening is able to understand that. Just look at the positive in it, because it is positive within the chaos if you search. And with that, I yield.
May the Most High be praised. Torah Sharing. May the Most High be praised. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. All right. I am very grateful and thankful to the Most High for health, for strength, for life, for the portion of His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that He has shared with me, allowing me to draw closer to you and prepare for this Shabbat day, where we can all worship Him together. It's truly a blessing to worship the Most High with people who you care about and people who care about you. It's a real special thing. So I'm thankful for all the things the Creator has allowed us to achieve this week. You know, we have so much to do. When I come down here, it's just so much to do all the time in preparing the place to be at its best at that particular time. And please forgive us if the Wi-Fi seems to be going a little choppy right now. We have a Wi-Fi box here that allows us to pick up the Wi-Fi, but it's not perfect. So we have applied for the perfection of the Wi-Fi, and that's one of the things that we achieved. We got the system put in, but they got to come and do the final touches on it. So we was hoping that they had that done by today, because if they would have, then this would have been a lot clearer and a lot more professional, like we would like for things to be, as we always try to present things to the family. But we had a lot of things to do, even in preparation for that. We had to build the booth, they enclosed the booth, and thanks to the Most High, He allowed our brother Antoine to be there right on time, just when we needed him to come and to help and support in building that portion. You know, we just had so many things to do this week, and the Most High brought us through every one of them. Every one of them. So I thank the Most High for His mercy, His blessings, His protection, His guidance, and all that He does for us to help us to move further in the jobs that He has given us in this earth. So if there's anyone in the room, if you're live on here, you can always give the Most High thanks by typing it in the room, and we'll acknowledge it, put it up on the screen, read it, and you can, get as elaborate as you want. Doesn't matter. We're not in a rush. We're not trying to take anything from you. This week we had to switch up just a little bit, which means that the things we usually do in the evening class, we're going to start out doing in the morning class. So we had to do things slightly different. We're going to try to get started when our sister gets here, because I need a little setup to help us move further so we can have everything accomplished like we need it to be. So those are my praise and my thanks to the Most High. And Rosh, I turn the mic over to you, Torah Rabah.
All right. Toda for that, Prince. Again, I see we have quite a few people in here today. Don't be shy. Please let us know what it is that you're thankful for. Again, as Prince said, we had to switch it up this week just a bit. Our speaker will be here this afternoon, so please make sure you come back. And what I'll probably do for the evening class, before the speaker speaks, if Prince is okay with, I'm gonna put together a slide so you could kind of see some of the pictures and the a video perhaps of the work that was being done for us to have this, for it to be smooth, the Wi-Fi and everything at the Mishkan, or the Knesset, what we call it, the temple, so that everything will be going good. So I'll show you that later. If it's approved, put it together and probably show it before the speaker speaks so you all can see. It is the beginning stages. It isn't painted or anything like that, but you'll be able to see the process that we're always working here, and we're always trying to make sure we do the work of the Most High, and to make sure things are in proper order for those that come and visit, and or those that come and reside here. So I'll have that this evening, more than likely, because I have to put it together. I don't have the video together yet, so I have to put it together. I'll probably do that during the break. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go into the portion of sharing, what I call Torah Sharing Portion, right? To where we're sharing the scriptures, a scripture that we might have read this week, and we want to kind of bring out either to share, to get comments, to have questions answered perhaps by those that's here. And that's this portion right now. So those of you that's here, if you haven't and you want to participate in this and you have read over the Torah anytime this week, bring a scripture forward, share it in the chat, and then we'll read it. And if you also can elaborate, another sentence, probably asking the question or telling your thoughts on it. So that's what we're about to do right now. Okay. We're going to get started with those here, but please feel free to share it whenever you want and we'll bring it up. All right. So so for those that are here at Beulah, if you have your scripture, please come before us and bring forth your scripture. Either Princess or the Bear Autumn. And then I'll come right after you all. Not sure if you all are froze or not. Am I frozen? Again, bear with us, you all. This will be better next week when they come and fulfill our internet at the Knesset. I think Gabrielle Autumn she's about to come forth, Princess.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
My commandment is from DIDDY, chapter 23, verse 2, or Deuteronomy. And it reads, "A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Creator." So my understanding of what a bastard is a child that is born out of wedlock or outside of marriage. And if that is the correct definition, I'm not sure, but if it is, then I think that the Most High would make such a law as that because he knows and has created marriage. And what do we look like being his children, the leaders of the earth, and being light to other nations if we are over here having a whole bunch of children out of wedlock and then bringing them into such a righteous as the Knesset? I think that's kind of how the Father may see it, in my own kind of little paraphrase words. Yeah, it's just that I think it just harkens on that marriage is honorable, and instead of having broken families and creating broken families and not knowing what you're doing when you get married or anything of that nature, instead of having broken families, have connected families, have righteous families that are put together, because man and woman and child represents life and represents the Creator in so many ways. So I think that the Most High is genuinely disappointed in us when we have children out of wedlock or out of marriage, because it's not in order. Even so much so that he says that whoever is this bastard child, if that is the correct definition, whoever is this bastard child shall not enter into the congregation even to his 10th generation. So as that bastard has children and those children of those bastards have children, etc., the Most High takes that very, very serious. He takes marriage serious. He takes two becoming one very serious. And if two have become one out of proper order, then the Most High is displeased. And I think what he means by the not enter to the congregation, I think that means not coming into the temple, or it means like not being a part of the congregation to a certain extent. Like he can't come, or they can't come, he or she can't come in like the gathering centers of where the people are when it's time to worship and do other things. So that's kind of my take on it and my reasonings. Hopefully it made sense. Zehu.
That is very, very interesting. No, you're good. Torah. That's very interesting. That's a scripture that we've been reading and knowing for many years. But as she was just explaining it, the worldly definition of bastard or bastard child is interesting. I had a conversation with a good brother last night, and we were talking about, it was three of us, me, Roche, and the brother, Antoine. And we were talking about intercourse, women having intercourse and not being married. That was part of the conversation on our floor. And you just brought up a very good example of a situation with a woman having a child by a man and they're not married, that child would have a problem entering into the assembly of the Creator. That's really deep. It really is, because that's how much promiscuity is forbidden in this nation. That's how deep promiscuity is. What did the child really do? The child didn't really do anything. It was the parents who brought the child into existence by way of fornication. And fornication, for those who don't know, is the breaking of the Creator's laws. Any of his laws is fornicating. But that's deep, because I never really even placed it in a position like that. And what you're saying with the acceptance of the world's terminology is wonderful. It's true. It shows us how much our culture and our law, the Creator that we serve, disagrees with men just haphazardly having intercourse with women that they don't bring to themselves as their wives, concubines, or some type of way bringing that women under your covering. And in today's world, we have a lot of males who operate in that stance and think that it's okay. They think it's okay. A lot of people do it with European women, and they really super duper think that it's okay because it's women of another nation. What I understand about the word bastard in the Hebrew, one of my great elders taught us, his name was Elder Ishkael. And Elder Ishkael taught that when a Hebrew man has a child with a woman that's of another nation, that's what's considered a bastard. But if you think about that, most of the children of Israel had children with women that was other nations. I mean, matter of fact, think about this for a second. Think about this for a second. It was like almost every one of the children of Israel, when Jake started having children, almost every one of those women were Canaanite women, women of other nationalities, other descents. So that would mean that we are all bastards, if that was a fact, if what he was saying was true. You know, he was a great man, may the Most High bless his memory, his essence, wherever the Father has it at. But sometimes it just takes time to think about some of the things that's being spoken to us before we can put it out there as a fact or something verifiable. There's a lot of times things happen that we just have to disagree with, but you don't disagree just because someone's saying it. You disagree because it doesn't stand up under pressure, you know? And that's just one of those things. We would be a bastard nation if in fact what he said was true. But that is a very good, go underneath the bottom, please. That was a very good example of what a bastard is. I mean, if we accept the world's terminology of that. But there are laws that the Most High has. There are laws that the Most High has for relations with women. All right, like for example, if she's a Hebrew woman and she gets impregnated by a Canaanite man, that could be considered a bastard child, somebody the Most High don't want in the midst of Israel. I can see that. I can understand that because the bloodline is carried through the man. And that Hebrew woman will be bringing into the assembly a Canaanite because it will really be of a Canaanite descent because his father is a Canaanite. So I can understand that in a lot of greater ways than the man having an outside woman. There may be some who disagree, but as a fact, our nation was built off of women. It was not just Israelite women. They were other nationalities of women that our forefathers laid with and produced up. Right. There's one woman, I have this correct in the book. It says that this child was an Israelitish child, I think it was. An Israelitish child who mocked the father. I had to deal with something. And the critic, and that would make sense, you know, that his father was a woman was Israelite. And that 7 nations in me, but not that he was called child. Yes. Well, we're talking, no, it can't be men over there. We're talking about, remember that she said they could be men or women, but that's not the way it goes. This is what you have to remember. The man determines the seed of the child. The nationality of the child is determined by the man. So if the man takes a woman like Dawid took, let's say that Solomon took, what's her name? What's the name? What was Solomon's wife's name? What was Solomon's wife's name? What, Solomon's wife, not Dawid's wife. Thank you very much. So if Solomon took, why can't I think about Solomon's wife's name, the one he committed, Uriah's wife? What was that? Oh,
That's evil, right?
boy, it's nice to have good people around you. Good people around you straighten you right out. Solomon's mother, Dawid's wife. Now, the only way we can deduce this is that Bathsheba was more than likely a woman of the Hittite community, because Uriah was a Hittite. So we're assuming that she was also a Hittite because he was in our military. Why does I hear that feedback? You mute on?
Are you all still there, Prince? All right, having a little technical difficulties. For those who are tuning in right now, can you hear me? Give us 1 second, 1 second. All right, am I frozen? Or was it just Prince and Princess? Can you hear me? You can barely hear me? All right. So bear with us, you all. Bear with us. We want to keep going in a bit. Bear with us. Bear with us. Toda. While we're waiting, if there's any one of you here right now that has a scripture that you want to post for those here to take a look at? We can read it, we can go over, and if there's any comments on that scripture, please do it now. Please go ahead and post your scripture, and I'll read it in any comments that you might have. And when I say scripture, we're talking about the first 5 books. I just say Torah law. We go over those 5 books, and then I'll go ahead and read it. So give me a second. Give us a second, you all. Hold on for your time. Give us a second. In the meantime, I'll try to play some music or something while everybody is getting prepared. I don't want to give my scripture just yet. You know, I want to have the opportunity for Prince and Princess and Gabar Alderman and them to be able to comment on it as well. I think Prince is coming back in, and there he is.
Gone too. All right. Well, we see what happens when you get into that good stuff. This is what happens. You lose signals, interruptions. Don't think they don't control the signals around here, because they do. Y'all know that, right? We do. All right. Are we back now? So we were dealing with the issue of what is a bastard? A bastard child. We had already discovered that a bastard child, according to the colloquial way of saying it, is when a man and a woman are not married and they have a child outside of wedlock, which could also be a portion of the biblical narrative. But my wife brought something real interesting out. She says that the Creator had forbidden for us to marry from 7 nations. He says, I believe this is in the book of Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. I think it starts around the 7th verse. I believe it's correct. And it speaks about these 7 nations that you're not supposed to give your children to marriage. But a lot of us did. A lot of us went on and did that. But these are also Canaanite nations. But this was after the law was given. Prior to the law, we can't say that we had that command on record. But after the law was given, we definitely had that on record. And our nations had already been born. Our 12 tribes was already in existence when that law was declared from the Creator to take place. So maybe it's something that the Father saw in their character and their trait and their personalities of mingling that he was disproved with, and he said, don't do it anymore. So that may be one of the reasons why. But those children would be considered bastard children as well. All right? I guess, yes.
So,
You want to come up so they can hear you, please?
so you had said earlier that one of the people you were speaking of or speaking with said kind of that same thing, like a person that is not of Israel is a bastard, basically. But more specifically, now I kind of get what you're saying. Like now you're saying like it's specifically the 7 nations that we're not supposed to mingle with are those bastards, basically.
Yes. Yeah, but I want you to understand the whole principle of what I'm saying. It all came out after the nation was already established. We if you remember, he saw that in the household, he saw all of that in understood she shouldn't marry Cameron.
Which is the part of the seven.
Yes. But we say law, but it was law after it became Moshe. It became law. But the practice was something that our forefathers shunned against. And that's just something to consider.
Prince is breaking up. It's really, really bad right now. I don't know if you all can hear me.
It's really bad.
Yeah, what I noticed when Princess kind of came off, that it wasn't as choppy. Are you all still there? All right. Princess, you still there? Can you hear me? All right. So you all, what we're going to do is, if you're still here, what we're going to end up doing, they're going to come. We're going to transition in a different location. So just stay with us, and what I'll do is I'll play some music while they're transitioning in a better area, so it won't be choppy like that at all. So give them about 5 to 10 minutes. I'll play some music. Hopefully you all can hear it from my computer because I didn't set up, so I could go directly into it and you can hear it clearly. But just bear with us. 5 to 10 minutes. I'll play some music. They're transitioning in a better location so that it won't be choppy. All right. So bear with us. They're relocating right now. So I'm gonna play some music and we appreciate you. It will be a good lesson. So you want to make sure you tune in and stay here. I'll play some music.
They ask me who I am. They ask me who I am. I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. They ask me where I'm from. I told them you can pick a side. We worldwide, I'm an Israelite. Whether through scripts or history, no, I can show you. In the army of Yahoo, I tell I'm a soldier. They ask me who I am. I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. When I say Israelite, they say you Jewish. But don't be foolish. Come get a dose of this mental renewing. See how we brew it. It's just different. Like, for instance, first thing to know, bro, it's a culture, no religion. Talking the bloodline, they say we Jacob children. And yeah, that's a factor, but what really matter how we living? Given that we gotta get Masada. That mean in order. For that we got that Torah. Some brothers we got Basora. Of course, some don't believe, but that don't matter today. I ain't trying to throw no shade. As long as we all stay anyway. That's the thing we call it like palm trees. Look up with that guy. You ain't a fan, know what I mean? They ask me who I am. I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. They ask me where I'm from. I told them you can pick a side. We worldwide. I'm an Israelite. Whether through scripts or history, no, I can show you. In the army of Yahoo, I tell them, boy, I'm a soldier. Yeah, they ask me who I am. I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right. He said that we don't like, got no choice but to shine. By the sweat of your brow, now you see why we grind, how we do, and we move to keep that ruach in our midst. When we eat, I got a list. Wanna build, break out them scripts. We don't hate and we don't diss. We ain't worried about another. He called us his firstborn. You can call us big brother. Look deeper and you'll discover. Making movies and shows, you've been exposed. What you know about those captured and sold. The Igbo and the Ashanti. Check out the history, never lost. Ain't gotta find me right where we meant to be. Repelling. Let the expulsion and repentance fix that. God gotta get back. He called them big back to
They ask me who I am, I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite. They ask me where I'm from, I told them you can pick a side. We were right, I'm an Israelite. Whether through scripts or history, no, I can show you. In the army of Yahweh, I'm a soldier. Yeah, they ask me who I am, I told them I'm an Israelite. That's right, I'm an Israelite.
And we ain't saying it's all salvation tonight, but the Most High just put his name on it, so we represent all praise. Shalom.
Ask me who I am.
They don't wanna see me make it. They just wanna see me hate. I ain't golden, I ain't break.
No pressure, everybody. Don't let nobody break you.
No pressure to me.
Most High's with us. No pressure.
No pressure to me. No pressure to me. No pressure to me. Weight on my shoulders, back against the wall. I gotta show my sons the way that they should walk and make a way. I gotta make a way. I keep the healing, and they know it's safe to stay. Pray for me, somebody pray for me. I took my walk, I'm gonna speak to it faithfully. Bounce in the place, and I've been bouncing sauce in the I've been there too long, and just ain't the way for me. Switch it up. I had to switch up an opportunity. They caught me and I pick up. I fell down so many times. I had to get up, regardless of how tough it get. I won't give up. I went searching for the light. I got lit up. I'm on top of Mount Sinai. With my chin up, I'm learning how to fly. I had to get rid of the talkers. I'm with the walkers in the sprinter. No pressure to me. No resting for me. I'm being me. Who you destined to be? I woke up. Yeah, that's a blessing to me. If I take a loss, that's a lesson to me. Progression. I keep up guessing. I've been on go in a recession. I've been 100 since an adolescent. My son is my antidepressant. I ain't about the present. I'm going back to the east. What's the holiday? Going back to the feast. It's a cold war. I'm going back to the heat. If I go to war, I'm coming back to be silverback. Going be straight up gorilla mode.
They're about to be coming in soon, you all. They're about to be coming in soon. Appreciate you all still tuning in. I know we lost a couple people, but I hope they come back.
Nigga, take a look at what I'm willing to sacrifice. Ain't no measure. Got my guard up for devils, cause they gon' test you. I've been feeling the pain, I feel the pressure. Got into it with a higher power, no pressure. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Yeah, no pressure to me. No, 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 no pressure. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. Yeah, no pressure to me. No pressure, no pressure, no pressure. No pressure, pressure. Yeah. Full blow, no build up. I'm in motion like I ain't. Look at me. It took me a while, I had to look and see all the brighter days right in front of me. The pictures more clearer, don't hand me no mirror. I look through the glasses, my vision is purer in HD. I thirst for the truth and you hate me? That's so fake, G. I need better than Shalom the God. I need no rose that they can shine. I keep a knife from his pocket. We I can watch him shit up behind. Yeah. They wanna divide it, we stay at each other, but we say we building a nation. But what is the building? Cause everyone's waiting, no initiative. Just procrastination. The government want me to be in rotation, but I think like this cause I ain't got the patience. My time is too precious to some plantations. I depend on Yahuwah, that's my salvation. Elevation comes with meditation. Hella dedication. Torah, that's my destination. Have to change my mind, reset my calibration. Check my calculations, yeah, it's looking great. I don't see through the eyes of the victim lie. I really concur, that's why who you despise. Let's focus on pressing the system, repairing the minds of our people, no compromise. In the fast lane, with my foot on the pedal, I'm matching gas. They think that they the first, they be the last. When I breeze past, ain't no need to laugh. You can't apply no pressure. No pressure, no pressure. No pressure to me, no, no.
No pressure.
All right. All right, all right. Appreciate you all tuning in and bearing with us. Stand with me while I play the music, allowing Prince, Princess, and the Bear Autumn to transition to another location. All right. All good, Princess? You all made it? You're muted if you're talking. And for those that's wondering,
You can play one more
you're muted if
song.
you're talking. Play one more song? All right, we're going to play one more song. I'm going to play a song. Hold on, I'm going to mute this. I'm going to play a song. Let me see what I want to play. I'm going to play a song by Maha Isha. It may be on our album, it may not be. It's called Let Go, and it is encouragement for man and woman. So hopefully you all like it if you haven't heard it already.
Yeah. This goes to the men who deserve it. Those who have past trauma but still work hard, you are worthy. Who struggle with some trust but hearts of gold towards the public. Who fail pushing to succeed, feels helpless and it's on repeat. I know it's tough, those carrying seeds. Your pain is deep, stuck under the rug. Get close to you, never will. I understand it, you don't have to. I do. Been hurting always. People know. It's time to let go. Let go of all those things that's been weighing you down. Can't get on with your life cause you're mentally drowned. It's time to let go. Let go. This goes to all of the women, those who deserve it too. Abandoned, mistreated, controlled and abused. It's hard for you to go forward, and you know that's true. It's starting to affect your journey. It's hard for you to be you. It's deep. Yeah. Close to you, never was people know, then people know. Oh, it's time to let go, let go of all those things that's been weighing you down. Can't get on with your life cause you're mentally drowned. It's time to let go. It's time to let go. It's time to let go. I know it seems easier said than done. But baby, you got so much to overcome. I know it seems easier said than done. But baby, you God, cause you can overcome. Let go of all those things that's been weighing you down. Can't get on with your life cause you're mentally drowned. It's time to let go. Let go. It's time to let go of those things behind. Let go of all those things that's been weighing you down. Get on with your life. Can't get on with your life cause you're mentally drowned.
All right. So that was my beautiful wife. She's kind of a little bit sick right now, so keep her in y'all prayers. That is a song that we will maybe having on our album. For those that's tuning in, we will have an album release party February 9th. So please come and support. That was written by me and her, and we like to do music to build up man and woman and the community, but still with a nice feel. So hopefully that was enough time. They're still getting things together. The Bear Kaza, I see you said it was choppy. I know it probably was choppy due to it coming straight from the computer. So we're going to get started in just 1 second. 1 second. Leave comments. Give me some ones in the chat if you all like the song. Some ones in the chat if you like the song. If it was motivational for you, a lot of us, as I had said earlier, we go through things and some stress in our lives, whether it's dealing with work, whether it's dealing with anything. And sometimes you just have to let go. You have to let go. Just stay prayed up, stay diligent, make different decisions that may be more in line with the Tanakh or the Torah. A lot of times we find ourselves going away from that, and that's because we're trying to grasp onto something that we should not be grabbing onto, and we need to just let that go and come back to the Most High. We have those moments. Scripture tells us that even the righteous man will fall 7 times. That's righteous man and woman, and that's not a real number. That's throughout your life. So we just got to make sure that we're consistent, that we're intentional with every move we make. We was having a conversation the other day, and I was talking to Prince, Princess, and my Isha and people that was around us. And one of the things that I was saying is here at Beulah land, which we're making sure that this land and the people in it and the way that we operate is righteous. So when we step out, and I'm passing this on to you all too, keep this in mind. When we step outside of our place, our dwelling place, supposed to be our safe place that is dedicated to the Most High, we got to be intentional. And we got to realize that we let go of those things that was outside of us, or outside of the Tanakh or the Torah, or outside of the Most High. We let those things go. So when we go out, we have to remember that. We have to represent, and we got to stay focused and completely let that go. Because if we get involved in it, you can be that person that's beneficial or benefiting the people, and you put yourself in a position that calls you not to be able to do it. So you got to let it go. I have a friend that, and Princess, I believe you're aware of this individual on the platform that I had prior, by the name of Isaiah. He was on 2 platforms that I had, and good brother. He was doing a lot for the children. He had a degree in psychology and all of that. And I don't know what took place, but he just passed this year, actually. And he was shot, and he was out, and I don't know what happened, but all I can say is we need to prevent as much as possible and just think about what we have to do for the people, keep ourselves out of those situations and let go of those situations. So with that, I yield. I'm just trying to give some encouragement, just trying to bring some things up in relation to the song and the kind of the messages that we're doing for our people, to give Prince a little more time. Is there any comments on what I said? Any questions? Any thoughts that you would like to comment on the things that I said? I could post it in the chat. Those that's tuning in. Okay, I see some ones in the chat for the music. Zakena Sakuri, might be saying that wrong, forgive me, said it was spirit-filled music. We appreciate it. Toda, I am so excited for you all to hear the album. I really am. Me and my Isha is really. Questions? Any thoughts? Okay, Princess. Comment on the things that I said. I could post it in the chat.
Shalom. I liked what you spoke about.
Those that's tuning in.
Can they not hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
It's a delay in the chat for the music.
Okay. So I just wanted to say Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Toda Rabbah, definitely for standing with us, going through the motions of the technical difficulties. But what Rosh was just speaking of about the let go, I think a lot of times, we hold on to so much, whether it be trauma, whether it be what somebody said about you, whatever it is, good or bad. And a lot of times we got to kind of, if we don't release it, wherever it needs to go, we just need to release it, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to receive the better things that the Most High has in store for us. A lot of times we might hear something that's being said, and we can dwell on it and then start to place that stuff back inside of us. But that's not necessarily what hearing it is for. Sometimes hearing it is just to reflect so we can make better decisions. So I think the letting go part is so important, because lately people have been telling me different things about what this person said about me or what this person thinks about me. And I literally have not gotten upset. I literally was like, oh yeah, that's all right, cool. Because I had to realize I can't, if I accept what those people are saying or somebody's opinion about me, especially negatively, then I'm putting that stuff inside my spirit, and I'm not going to receive that stuff anymore. So we have to be willing. We have to, and it's not something that's easy, but we have to just be like, okay, yeah, I'll let that go. Whatever they said, I'm letting that go. That's not me. And it's not true. So there's no point for me to even call that person and be like, what you said, going back and forth, because then I'm engaging in that energy I'm not a part of, because people are always going to have something to say, whether good or bad, they're going to have something to say. And most of the time, just being honest, Israelites always have something bad to say. You could be doing 100 things good, but you do one wrong thing, whether it be before the 100 things or after, that's what they're going to talk about. That's what they're going to make so most important. That's what they're going to spread like the 5 o'clock news, because that's what everybody likes to hear. But if we start to get into the, oh yeah, I'm good, and you start to ignore what the negative is being said, then people aren't even going to bring you that news, because that's not the type of tea I want to drink. I don't want to drink that tea every day. I don't even want to drink it occasionally. I'm fine with drinking the herbal teas that help my body. So I don't need no other type of teas. That's why I don't drink Lipton tea, all them poisonous teas. So I'm not, so I'm in a state when people tell me something, they be like, well, I didn't want to tell you because I don't want you. I'm like, no, I'm not even angry. Disappointed, of course, because we're still doing the same thing over and over, talking about each other, tailbearing, making somebody look bad because whatever you're doing, wherever you are in your life. But that person has to find a way to let go too, and maybe they'll stop doing what they're doing. So every time I hear that song that my spiritual daughter Amuna sings, it's part of my playlist. I just think about all the things that we have to let go, because we can't be powerful women, powerful men, powerful leaders, mothers and fathers if we're holding on to everything that has happened to us in the past or the present, and then trying to build a future. We're bringing all that stuff with us in the future, and we don't have to. So just kind of, just going back on what you said, yeah, we got to let go spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And part of even that, the physical, when you holding on to stuff, your body transform into those things. Like if you're stressed out, you feel it, you look it, all that stuff. So yeah, let go, let it go, and let the Most High, let yourself receive what the Most High has for you. And once you start doing that, I'm here to testify, so many things are going to be opened up to you. So many things the Most High will show you. And I can say, once I did that, once I was like, yeah, that stuff don't bother me, I started to see what the Most High wanted me to see, what was most important. And it wasn't, and I started to hear what he wanted me to hear. And it wasn't what others were saying, are saying, gonna say, any of that. So yeah, let go and move forward. Zehu.
All right. Toda. I don't know if Prince wanted to say anything. If not, we do have that was Geberit Autumn bringing forth Zakina Laurel's commandment. I can read that commandment, and I think she has a question with it. So let's go ahead and pull that up in the meantime until Prince is ready. Let me bring that out. Give me a second, you all. And she has Devarim 15, 7, and 11. Pulling it up right now. Deuteronomy 15, I think it is, she said, 7 and 11. All right, let's go ahead and share it. All right, can you all see that screen? All right, verse 7. And it says, if, however, there is a needy person among you, one of your kin in any of your settlements in the land that your Elohim is giving you, do not harden your heart and shut your hand against your needy kin. Then she jumps down to verse 11, for there will never cease to be needy ones in your land, which is why I command you, open your hand to the poor and needy kin in your land. All right. And the question, what if my neighbor always borrows and never gives back? Should I keep giving? She said, what if her neighbor should keep giving? So my response, Prince, did you have anything else? You want me to go ahead and respond to that? I can respond.
Go ahead, bro. You got it.
That's it. I'll be short and brief. My short answer to that is, of course, everyone's not going to be on the same level as it pertains to financial ability, I guess. But what we can do as a community, one of the goals, I believe, is to make sure everyone is okay. So as far as always borrowing and never give back, should you keep giving? I think that the Most High has set up our Torah and put us in a position to where an individual can learn from one that's a little more well off, whether it be financial, whether it be wisdom, whether it be anything, to help put them in that position to where they won't stay. Is that always the case? I'm not going to say that's always the case, but I think from my perspective that the goal is to help everyone level up so that they won't have to continue to borrow. So I will let Prince jump in. That's just one aspect, and that's my answer.
Okay, I think that's a very good answer, very good response. But Sister Laurel, think about this for a second. We are placed in this earth to make a difference for others. Now, along with your giving, you might want to give advice. You might want to open up an opportunity, and then you have to ask yourself, or ask the individual, why do they keep borrowing? Some people are just unfortunate, placed a curse or something upon the people and held them back from achieving in life. Some people are really struggling to do better, not that they're lazy, and they're really doing what they can to be better. And sometimes it happens. It's just that their success might not be now. but their success will be coming. But regardless of their success or not, you have to really know the character of the individual that you continuously give to. If sluggard, where they don't get up, don't try themselves, don't make any attempts to do for themselves, but they're actually living off of you and you're providing for them their every day and their every need, then it's time for you to have a conversation with that individual. You don't have to be a fool for anyone, whether a brother or sister or just a neighbor. But we're placed in this earth to be a light to the nations and a light to our own people. So whenever someone is met with difficult times and they keep relying on you for their salvation or to better themselves, it is your job and your responsibility to help them to be able to eat, have a place to sleep, food, just the provisions of everyday life. It is our job to provide those things, but yet you don't want to be used and abused by anyone. If you get any sense, even from the beginning, if you get any sense of the whiff that this person is just trying to use you, you don't have to give to them. You can always say no. And you can move to the next one who really can use your help genuinely because they really fell on hard times. Usually, the results of our lives are based on the decisions that we made. Usually the situations or the results of our lives that we are finding ourselves in today is based on a decision that we made yesterday. Therefore, if they didn't prepare for tomorrow, the discretion is up to you whether you choose to help them in that situation. And if you choose to help them in that situation, it should be because they're not in position to help themselves, not because they don't do anything to help themselves. There's a difference. So you have to make that decision, sis. May the Most High be praised. Torah.
All right. So right before the signal kind of started acting up, I'm not sure if you all wanted to continue from that or if we want to go ahead and continue with our
What portion were we in? Just
we're still in the commandment portion.
I would like to pick up and deal with that commandment to your child. I think that this is really important because a lot of us today are in relationships where we're not committed to each other, and we need to see the significance of marriage. And when I say marriage, I don't mean just shacking up or claiming that you're married. I mean marriage in its full duty and right of a marriage, where the man is doing his job as a husband and the wife is doing her job, and you two are in the presence of the rest of the community as husbands and wife, where you have documentation, a marriage certificate, where he is your husband and she is your wife, and the Creator is smiling upon your marriage. This is extremely important in our communities today, but a lot of us don't understand that. A better child. If you open your books to the book of Deuteronomy, the 23rd chapter, verse 2. Can somebody read that for me?
I'm putting it up right now, Prince.
Deuteronomy 22.
22 and 3, you said, right?
23. A lot of us find ourselves as the children of Israel is we don't want to come face with our reality.
All right. And it reads, Devarim 23 and 2. No man who tests. Am I reading the right scripture? I don't think I'm reading the right scripture. You said Deuteronomy 23 and 2? Can y'all hear me? The
Yes.
Deuteronomy 23 and 2?
Can I be heard?
I can hear you.
Yes.
So
Read
this
on,
is
please.
all right. No man whose tests are crushed or whose member is cut off shall be admitted into the congregation of the Most High. No one misbegotten shall be admitted into the congregation of the Most High. No descendant of such, even in the 10th generation, shall be admitted into the congregation of the Most High. Keep reading.
So what we talking about here? The one misbegotten. No. Your readings of misbegotten is the word bastard in a lot of different understandings. So it says, no one who is a bastard should be admitted into the congregation of the Most High. No descendants of such, even in the 10th generation, shall be admitted into the congregation of the Most High. It doesn't mean that they can't at all. Time frame, 10 generations later, they have to prove themselves worthy of walking with the Creator. Serve the Creator. It only means that they can't enter into the congregation. Now, the congregation means not the assembly of the people, but that little clique, that little order of the priesthood, of the leaders, the spiritual leaders, the teachers, that portion of the assembly of the congregation of the Most High. Okay, it doesn't mean that these people can just go and live a life of sin and won't be held accountable. That's not what. So if you find yourself in this situation, or if you have children from a situation when you wasn't married, it does not mean that they cannot serve the Creator. It does not mean that you cannot serve the Creator. What it means is that you can't sit in the assembly of His congregation, which means on the level of the priesthood or the leadership or the most prominent ones of His people. Things in that nature. Because think about it for a second. Even after the giving of the law, there was a man, I believe his name was Yiftach. And Yiftach was the wife of a bastard. He was a bastard. He was his mother wasn't the wife of his father, but yet she produced him. So they kind of say he was a illegitimate child. But Yiftach, because of the way they treated him, the Most High had mercy on him and raised him up to dominance, where he actually became a leader of the people. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because of the way that the people treated Yiftach, disrespect him, backbite him, tore him down, made him feel like nothing, the Creator raised him up above the other individuals. So even though you may have that's born of a union doc in wedlock, doesn't mean that the Most High will completely cut them off. So you stay in the service of the Most High. You stay in worshiping, praising, and teaching your children about the Creator, even if they're born outside of wedlock. You still keep them in the midst of the Almighty, and it just may be that the Most High will have mercy on them and raise them up. But then you have to also remember, you may be the 10th generation. You don't know when that started, when your descendants or your predators, your what is that word that they have? Progenitors. You don't know when they first started serving the Creator. It could have been 10 generations ago. That man then may have given his life over to the Most High and been as devout as you are today 10, 15 generations ago. So your seed who issues from you could be with after that 10th generation. So give it to the Creator. Raise your children to the Most High. Although you're always in prayer asking the Creator for forgiveness of any abominations that you have done in his sight that is not pleasing to him. Keep that constantly on your lips. You never know what the Most High will do for his people, and especially the people who are ostracized by others, spoken bad about by others. And I'm not talking about because they did evil. I'm saying because the people didn't like them for whatever reason it may have been. So you sisters and you brothers who may have children who are not born in wedlock, don't give up on those high. Don't give up on them, because it's not really necessarily speaking to you when it says they can't enter into his assembly into the 10th generation. It's not necessarily speaking to you. It's speaking on that higher level of prestige within the community. That's what he's speaking of. So may the Most High be praised, and I pray that you all understand. Let me share this other portion with you. We also have something 18:6-20, Leviticus 20:10-21. It's a repeat pretty much. So let's go there. Leviticus 18:6-20. Roche, can you pull it up on the screen, please? Leviticus 18, verse 6 to verse 20.
Leviticus Vaikra 18 verses 6 says, "None of you men shall come near any one of his own flesh to uncover nakedness. I am the Most High. Your father's nakedness,
Now,
that is, likely.
If anyone comes unto his own flesh and produces a child, what is that child considered? It's a bastard child. It's an illegitimate child. It's a forbidden union. So keep this in mind. We're not just talking about a man and a woman who are outside, not related, and they come together and they have a child without being married. He's also talking about incest children, relations or unions that are forbidden by the Creator. And it just may be that that union that was forbidden will produce a seed, an offspring. Then you can start counting from that generation forward. Read on, please.
Verse 7, your father's nakedness, that is, the nakedness of your mother, you should not uncover. She is your mother. You should not uncover her nakedness.
There are a lot of children today who have children by their parents, by their mother. I mean, it may sound like something that you want to say doesn't take place, but it does. Some women have a son and they end up having intercourse with their son and produce children. It's not a common thing, but it does happen. The father is saying he doesn't want that kind of confusion in the midst of him on that level. But that child is still born. He's not in control of how he got here. So he still must learn the ways of the Father. Read on, please.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife. It is the nakedness of your father.
Now, don't think for a moment. Yes, don't think for a moment that these things that we're talking about don't happen. Because there's a lot of fathers sneaking with their son's daughter, son's wife, and there's a lot of sons sneaking with their father's wife. And I'm talking about that ain't his father's mother, that ain't the child's mother, but it's his father's wife. And they're sneaking around doing things, and they end up having a child. Those two know, definitely she knows, that that's not the father's child. That is also a relationship of incest that should not be. It's an unlawful union in the eyes of the Creator. So that's another example of a bastard child. Okay? Read on, please. Now, I know we don't take it on this level. We don't usually think about it on this level, but these things are factual. They're unlawful unions. Read on.
Verse 9, the nakedness of your sister, your father's daughter, or your mother's, whether born into the household or outside, do not uncover their nakedness.
Do you know that there are many European nations today that inbred just like that? They'll sleep with their daughters, they'll sleep with their sisters. They inbreed like that for one reason, is to keep the wealth within the family, to keep the control within the family in their bloodlines. They interbreed. The Creator says that He doesn't want that foolishness in His assembly of mighty men and mighty women in the earth. But these things are real. See, I'm bringing this chapter to life in a way that you never even thought about it. We read past that, but we never think about the offsprings of these relationships. It never crosses our mind. We'll read it and we just keep it moving, that you can't lay with your father's brother. Why you can't lay with them? Because the child that comes, not only the reason, spiritual reason, but also the physical reason, is because the child that comes from that offspring is an illegitimate child. It will happen. It could happen. And if it does happen, the father says somebody's going to have to be accountable for that. Read on, please.
Verse 10. The nakedness of your son's daughter or of your daughter's daughter, do not uncover their nakedness, for their nakedness is yours.
This is for all of those males, and I clarify that, all of those males who do these unrighteous acts with their grandchildren. That's correct. These unrighteous acts with their grandchildren. And you have to be careful, because there are a lot of males that are like that in this earth, and some of them wear fringes and show up to the house of worship on the Shabbat. Some of them are right there. The Creator has a decree for these types of people. These are the things that should not be done. He's letting you know that these things are prohibited by Him for anyone who's in this manner. And don't think for a moment that just because they do it, they can't produce seed. They can't make a child, because they can. A lot of people think that when you do unlawful acts in marriage, that the person won't become pregnant, but they can. They can become pregnant. And if they become pregnant, that child is unlawful for a 10th generation in that situation. The situation is different. Read on, please. But even in that situation, don't stop that child from learning of the Creator. Read on, please.
Verse 11. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, who was born into your father's household, she is your sister. Do not uncover her nakedness.
Now you see what that means? Your father's wife, daughter. Don't lay with her. Now there's a lot of males that feel like, well, that wife isn't my mother, so I can lay with her daughter. No, you can't, because that's your father's daughter, and that's forbidden. Well, she only my half sister. That's more than enough. Don't touch her. There's a lot of males today that do those types of things. And the Father's trying to take His time to show us how wicked it is if we do these things. No man should be lying with his children, whether it's his female children or his male children. No man should be lying with his children. No man should be lying with his grandchildren, whether it's a female or a male grandchild. The man should not be lying with them at all. Neither should the grandparent. See, these are a lot of things that people, oh, Prince, ain't nobody. Yes, they are. You will be surprised of the abominations that have forsaken and become a part of our people's lives. Just because you're not aware of it, don't mean that it's not happening. These things show a sickness within the nation of Israel, because we strive to be just like the other nations. They do that. All these abominations was taking place in the people before the Most High put them out the land. That's why He came up with these laws to present to us of things that we should not do. Read on, please.
Verse 12. Do not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She is your father's flesh.
Now keep in mind, we're talking about don't uncover the nakedness, and also don't produce a seed from her. You know?
Verse 13. Do not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's flesh.
Okay. We're going to stop there. I think y'all understand where we're coming from with this whole thing talking about bastard children. Bastard come from an all unlawful union, the sight of the Most High. So thank that commandment, Ishti. May the Most High be praised. Torah Rabbah, Torah Rabbah, Torah Rabbah. I see you have some other comments you might want to post on the page and elaborate on.
All right. Zakana Finley says, what you think of me is none of my business. Give thanks at all that keeps me going. Yamai. Yachai, I'm assuming.
May
All right.
be praised.
Geberet Autumn says, so bastard may not mean just born out of wedlock, because what about rape and a child born from that? Not marrying one of the 7 peoples makes more sense.
Born out of would also be a child. And different levels. One is because it's a union that the Most High did not approve of. But even when you have that child, you have to remember, you still raised this child about the Creator. Understand that. And we have to be sympathetic and compassionate toward the woman who has those types of things. You're not shunned for that reason. You won't be punished for producing. Actually, you'll probably be honored because a lot of females, when they're in a situation like abort the child, abort the birth, but you say, go forward with it. It's a blessing. So keep that in mind. One part of the problem is that a lot of females, when they go through that experience and they have that, they want to remove from the household and give the child up, into the system. Well, when you put that child into the system, that child have a portion of you in it. That might not be an Israelite person or who are willing to take on that responsibility on that child. It will be much better if you did that way. I applaud the one who has been through that experience, that R word, and held on to that child. I applaud it. Not saying that you have to, it's your choice. But if you decide hat is off to you, I applaud that. That is a strong, powerful move rather than to do determination. So I pray that I've answered that question.
All right. Brother Antoine says, bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child bastard mixed population, born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa.
Yeah, we covered that earlier, my brother. You're absolutely correct, but we covered that earlier. But it's born of a Jewish, a Hebrew father, and he's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Males, men should not be producing. First of all, men should not be anybody that they don't have in union as their wife. Second of all, if you do something like that, where you lay down with a woman and kind of walk in this way of life and that to yourself as a wife, there is no such thing as casual sex in Israel. To the woman, and it's degrading of the brother. Should always, when we bring in having intercourse with a woman, she should be our wife or our husband. Am I losing sick family?
You're chopping up a little bit, but the message, I believe, was understood. Well, we heard you.
So let me just, okay. I'll try to do this.
All right. All right. Princess Medaya, do you have your scripture?
Okay. So my scripture is found in Exodus 20, verses 3 through 6. It's also found in Leviticus. One second, y'all. I'm not going to read it all, but it was, I saw it in Leviticus first, but then I wanted to get a different conversation about it. So anyway, Exodus, Shemot 20, verse 3 through 6. Thou shalt have no other deities before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For the Most High thy power, I am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. And then I just want to, so it's in Leviticus 20. But in Leviticus 20, it talks about the same thing, but it goes into even more of making a molten image and placing it in the Most High's house, or in the Most High's, in our tents of tabernacles, or in our own homes. So when I opened my book first this morning, it went to Leviticus. It went to the one in Leviticus, and then I looked up the one in Exodus and wanted to read that. And it made me think about just how we had a conversation too about, idolatry, and how it's so easy to have something as an idol and not know it, because you're just accustomed to waking up and doing something. And then when it comes time for the Most High's time, you're so accustomed to doing that other thing that you put that before the Creator, because it's just innate in you. So it's like that is, in so many words, people can identify or define rather as idolatry, because you're placing that above the Most High, especially on the Shabbat day. So I know for me, like I intentionally, before I do anything else on my phone in the mornings, outside of if I have a, FaceTime conversation with my Ish, so that we can, me, my family, we can do morning prayer. I go and I read a verse every morning. I pick a book and I just read a chapter rather every morning until I get to the end of that book. And that helps me to kind of just stay in the Most High's sight at all times, but it also helps my day. And it helps me to know, like, as soon as I pick up my phone, I'm not going to social media or reading one of my online books or playing a game or whatever, So it's so important, the different things that we do, and we do our best to make sure we are not allowing certain things to become idol worshiping. And then it made me think about, we went to dinner the other night. We had a business dinner, and we went to one place. We left that place because it was nasty inside. It was like it was just unhealthy to even stand in there, honestly. So we decided to go to another vegan restaurant. We get there. My Ish had to go and run and pick up my daughter from the airport. So we get in there. We're all kind of like sitting down, chilling. We ordered, but nothing. We had just finished ordering, and my Ish walks in and starts pointing out all the idols that are in the presence of us in this restaurant, that we just kind of we overlooked it, because we're just kind of, our focus was getting to the restaurant so we can make sure we're starting our meeting on time, all these things. But he came in, we saw the idols, everything around us, and we was like, okay. He was like, okay, call and see if this other restaurant is open, which we know is a vegan restaurant, don't have idols. So I looked it up, it was open. I went to waiter, went to pay for what we had ordered, which was, I think, some teas or something. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I didn't even put none of those orders in. Y'all are good. So, I looked at that as You know, so many, we don't pay attention where we're eating from. And in these places that we eat from, whether it be from Thai restaurants, um, Indian restaurants, whatever it is, when they have their idols present, their idols are representing who they are. We don't know if they prayed over the food before they served us, before they cooked it, any of that. But the fact that their idols are the highest thing in that building, or the biggest thing so you can see it, should be our first sign to not patronize that restaurant or whatever it is, because in so many ways we are giving to that idol. Because basically a lot of times, a lot of them, that's what they do. They give a portion of their money that they earn to their idols. You know, even some of them give some of their food to their idols before they cook. They set a plate of food in front of the idol, and something that you ordered could have been dedicated to the idol for that day. So, you know, and that's just thinking even deeper into it. You know, and it's something my East teaches a lot too, about going to your family's houses who have altars up and all this stuff, and eating from people. But it made me think about that particularly, and it made me understand how it's so important that we have to pay attention into every space we go into, especially if we're going to spend our time, our money, and eat from those places, which are like three of the most important things that you do in a day. Your time you can't get back, money that you cannot get back, and then what you're putting in your body is very important. And what stuck out the most to me was a young a young boy, Bainey, with us. And he noticed what my husband did. So when we got to the next restaurant, he started looking around. And it was just so key because he learned something that day too, like paying attention and seeing where we're eating. And so, you know, it's just important, the lessons that we have to learn, and always remembering these laws, whether we think they're small or big, those, they count in so many different ways. So say who.
You know, that you brought that up. Jump on this one thing, because a lot of our people are this, but that's eating halal. You're not, as an Israelite, you shouldn't eat practicing. And a lot of think that halal food is food. Kosher halal food is two different types of foods. If you're getting real halal food, before they slaughter that animal, before they slaughter that meat in halal foods, they befake the life of that animal. And except you understand the basic principles of their food, because in your mind, it's a different power that they're worshiping. So if you understand that that's a different power that they're worshiping, then you should eat their food. If you don't have that opinion that it's a different power, then you, by all means, you eat that food. So it's up to you banding of who the Muslim is worshiping. But for an Israelite, the Israelite is something that we should not do. You should prohibit yourself from eating that food. But then it's just not halal food. If you go into an establishment and these in this establishment are promoting Christianity, you should eat their food. If you go into a Thai restaurant, they're promoting Buddha, you don't eat their food either. Because the Creator says you should not eat food offered up to idols. Anyone who worships powers, who thank these powers for their food, their well-being, their financial gain, is taking that, partaking in idolatry. And that's the subject that's on the floor. So you have to be real careful where you go to eat and what you. Some people, they argue, well, Prince, we don't know who those people are that we buy the food from the supermarket. Then you shouldn't be buying any food from the market. Grow your own foods. Grow your own meats. Raise your own animals. Plant your own food. key point in what I'm saying is that they promote what they're into. I'm not just talking about food market that they're not pushing about the deity that they serve, but they might be practicing Christianity. You don't know that. So you go hungry unless you own food and growing your own, raising your own. But you may go hungry if you start looking like, well, what did this guy do? I would suggest you do is promoting these deities, then you have to stay away from them. Tell you on this level, you're vegan, and there's a apple cider vinegar that I used to pour up all the time, and it was called Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I had to stop eating Bragg's because on the side Bragg's apple cider vinegar they got that fish, and then they got a little scripture that lets you know from the New Testament. But they worship JC as the creator. That's the difference. The fact that they coming out the New Testament, it's the fact that that's their God. That's their power to them. That's what creates issue for you as an Israelite to partake of their foods. If your mom is a Christian, I mean a devout Christian, I'm talking one of the ones who think Jace everything, then you should food either. That's your mom. Well, Prince, how could you be so cruel? Ask my mother. It's just a fact. I'm not going to have you do anything or tell you or teach anything that I myself won't do. These are sacrifices that we have to make when we're worshiping the Creator. Does that mean you love your mother any less? No, it doesn't mean that. Does that go to your mom and give mom a kiss and a hug? No, it doesn't mean that. Does that mean you have to shun your mother and don't talk to your mother? No. What I'm teaching, all I'm teaching is if your parents, your friends worship anyone other than the Creator, the power of Israel, then you should not be eating if they are serious about their walk of life. The average person that's Christian don't really understand is they don't thank JC for themselves. They just hold on to the title of Christian just for the sake of it. The average person that's Muslim for the sake of it. But I'm talking about the ones that go out of their way, like you go out of your way to worship the Creator. They worship the deity earth. You can't eat their foods. You can't go to their assemblies because they'll call you to their service to worship their powers. And if you go, the Creator will hold you accountable for that. May the Most High be praised. Torah Rabbah, pray you all understand. Have to make. We say we worship the Most High and the Most Alone. There are sacrifices you have to make. And you be willing to make those sacrifices because the Creator is going to hold you accountable for these decisions you make in your life. All right?
Prince,
May the Most High be praised.
we got a
Rosh.
question, Prince. Can one idolize their own opinions?
Absolutely. One can idolize their own opinion. Yes, they get big-headed. And they think that they are error and sin. They think that they're perfect, and none is perfect. Not one. So yes, you're right, Sister Tucelia. You're absolutely correct. There's another way, a form of idolatry.
All right. My issue has. Oh, go ahead, Princess.
Sister Zaquina Tusila brought up that her daughter had brought to her attention that Bragg's changed their marketing or their labels, and we just looked it up. They no longer have the New Testament on their labels or the fish, and they're just giving more stuff, and they're talking
Well,
about.
it's too late. They have to.
I know. We were just letting you know, like, not saying because obviously we know that that's what they originate from. They've been established for 112 years, but we just know that, well, Zaquina was bringing it to our attention because her daughter brought it to her attention, and we looked it up, and yeah, the new labels don't have all that stuff. So I was just letting you know.
Somebody, they must have heard one of my lessons. They must have heard one of my lessons then.
Oh, she said another company may have
But
brought
you
them
know
out.
what that
So
reminds
I'm gonna
me
look it
of?
up.
Check it out and see. But I heard that multi-million-dollar man named the white
Bill
guy
Gates?
that's buying up
Bill Gates?
all of I heard that yes. I heard they bought a vinegar company and changed the ingredients. That might be the company that he brought. That may be what that's all about. He may have brought that company out because Bill Gates, I heard that he brought a vinegar company, the ingredients on the vinegar. So I don't know if it's brags or not, but this brings to mind. Years ago, I did on chicken. And that's how I found out that the chicken was a part of the vulture and the jungle fowl breed of bird. They mixed together, and that's how they come up with today's chicken. Years ago, I did research, and about 15 years ago, I did research on Vaseline. That Vaseline had, and how I got the pork in the Vaseline is because they sucked the petroleum out the ground, but they would rub pig oil all around the pipes in order to get the suck the petroleum out the ground, and it made it easier. But today, you can't find that information. Now, looking at the chicken industry, the chicken industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry every year. So if they realize that people who eat kosher or people who eat clean find out that this chicken, the roots and the history of this chicken came from these birds, these people will lose a lot of money that has invested in chicken. They don't want that to happen. So when you do the research now and you try to find out, they'll only tell you about the fowl, and they'll tell you they don't know what the other bird is. They're not sure what the underbird is, but we believe that it's come from a jungle fowl and some other type of bird. But in reality, chicken is unclean. You shouldn't eat it. Vaseline is unclean and you shouldn't use it. Vaseline is unclean and you should not use it. Do the research. You may be able to look deep enough and find something that they hid from everybody else for so long because their lobby to have certain things removed so that the public will never come to know its real source and where it's come from. So may the Most High be praised. So that might be a maneuver that the vinegar people did. We never know until we do the research to find out. May the Most High be praised. Rosh, you got it, bro.
All right. Maisha sent the scripture and the explanation. Keeping y'all prayers. She's trying to get over a little sickness. And it is Wa'ikra 5:1. If a person who is a witness sworn to testify sins by refusing to tell what he has seen or heard about the matter, he must bear the consequences. And she said, I chose this because there's so many wrong convictions, because a person who knew important information didn't speak out. In Yisrael and in the secular courts, withholding information is wrong.
Yeah, because the wrong person could go to jail and die. And if you're a witness, you should speak up. Somebody could be punished and put away, and it's not worthy of that. They haven't done anything. But because you don't like the individual, you hold your tongue. The Creator will hold you accountable for that. Torah Rabbah. May the Most High be praised.
All right. I guess I'm the last person up. We don't have any thing in the comments right now. So gonna go ahead and bring mines out. That is all right. And what I have is hold on one second, pulling it up. It's in Numbers, the Midbar, chapter 11, verse 16. I think I got a couple verses, but verse 16. And it says, and the Most High said unto Moshe, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. I want to stop there before I go to the next verse. I think this is important. Again, I know many people have had bad experiences, but the positive within this is that some people may lack is he's telling him to get these 7 men that are basically established elders within Israel, that is known elders of the people and officers already, right? To stand with him. Why is this important? A lot of us move alone. A lot of us make decisions alone. A lot of us are leading people alone. And if we are doing that, more than likely, it's a chance you will fail. You will drop the ball. You might not have all the answers. You're lacking that counsel that can keep you accountable as well. I know this isn't the case here, but in today, 2023, it is the case. So I think we should pull from this and understand that we need people here, not only to stand with us to produce things that is beneficial, but stand with us to hold us accountable. And it says, and I will come down, verse 17, and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them. I want to stop there. This leader that is bringing these individuals with them, these established men, these established elders, to stand with them, are going to get this spirit that you are supposed, that Moshe had, right? Moshe had this spirit, and he was a meekest on the earth, the scripture will say. So this shows that you have to have a certain spirit to make sure it can pour into those that are with you, right? So I'm only speaking of verse 16 as the commandment, but it's telling him the aftermath of that commandment, what's going to come forth after that. And why is it important to have people that are among you who are qualified? It says, and will pull it upon them, verse 17, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that thou bear it not thyself alone. A lot of times you have good men and or women, and leaders within the community, or Knesset or Knesset or Mishkanim, that are bearing a lot of stress and burden within the people. And a lot of times the people don't understand that they can be burdensome, right? And that's okay, because we go through things. But it is important for us to have people in place to help assist, especially spiritually and mentally. And I believe that is what the Most High is sharing with Moshe, which we're supposed to learn from. This spiritual and mental is a lot harder, as you all hear Princess say, than the physical. And we know that. I know that through being a personal trainer, that when you are working out, that extra push comes from your spirit, comes from your mental. You can actually overcome or defeat that stress, or that thing that's holding you back. So you're trying to lift that extra rep, and it's all in your mind. So right here, going back to the scripture, the Most High is letting Moshe know that you need these individuals, because you want to be mentally healthy. You want your spirit to stay in alignment and not be tilted over or unbalanced due to having so much. I'm going to stop there. That's my commandment, and I think it will help a lot of us, and in a lot of ways. And that's it. Is that who?
All right. Most High be praised. Very good command.
And you're right on the point where you talk about the spirit drove in the individual. You're right. If Israel, we as a people today, we remember that we ought to work on our inward parts and build up our spirituality before we worried about building up our physical bodies, we will endure a lot longer as well. Because your spirit must be strong, your spirit must endure. It has to be powerful. It has to be disciplined, especially when you dedicate your life to the Most High. Because the adversarial energies will challenge you. It's their job to challenge you. And they will challenge you to cause you to walk away just to show the Father that you wasn't worthy. So you build up your spiritual strength through fasting, prayer, through fast prayer and meditation. Build up your spirit because we need that. All right. Torah. May the Most High be praised. All right, family, questions or comments that we would like now? Roche, could you put on the screen the from Ima Sakori, where she mentions the ingredients have changed in reference to the vinegar? It says the ingredients have changed in the apple cider vinegar. The tech guy, Bill Gates, changed the vinegar. He changed the vinegar. Now, for all of you who know, Bill Gates is also responsible for a lot of nanotechnology. Are y'all familiar with that? Nanotechnology. And Bill Gates is also the one who says he's going to block the sun out because he's going to put darkness upon a big sheet of darkness upon the sky to that the sun doesn't shine on the earth. For whatever reason, I don't know what he's trying to do. But that nanotechnology is also found within that shot that they was giving everybody last 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Y'all know what that shot is. I don't need to mention it. But nanotechnology was up in that shot. Bill Gates was one of the ones who was pushing that situation to take place. So why would you be able to that he put on the market? Not only did he also tie with a lot of meat buyers. He's buying up all the farms, converting the meats over now. We have a lot of genetically modified meat, not even real meat, but it looks just like beef, turkey, chicken, fish. They look real. They look like real flesh, but they have genetically modified products, and a lot of the genetically modified products, those nanotechnology, little tiny robots, real microscopic robots, to go up into your bloodstream, to cause blood clots, to cause things, to ultimately to change your DNA and destroy you. So what meats that this guy Bill Gates is responsible for, it has some kind of stamp on it, some kind of special seal, but they got a special meats that they're promoting now. But these meats are artificial meats. They're not like they raise a cow on a farm for X amount of years in grass and kept them healthy. They genetically modified it and they sell to the world. And the world consumes them. You know, about 10 years ago, I taught a class, might have been 15 years ago. I taught a class where I was talking about how the world is now changing upside down, where men are becoming feminized, masculinized. And if you look today, that is definitely taking place in the earth today. When I taught that class about 15 years ago, it might have been a little longer than that because I was in Philadelphia Avenue when I taught that class. And my example was when you watch movies today. When you watch movies, a lot of the males are in the feminine role, and a lot of the women are in the masculine role. What got me at that particular time was one of the classes where a man was informing his wife that he was having a guy come over to the house. she threatened to leave if that guy came over to the house. The guy didn't let him come because he was afraid of his wife leaving the home. When a situation would happen within the household, the man wouldn't make the decision on how we're going to deal with this issue. He would go to his wife and leave it up in how to handle matters. The male. So these are not movements of men. These are movements of males. And there's a difference. They have an agenda. I saw a post today with a woman proposing to a man. She was down on her knees. She had a ring in her hand. And she proposing to him for marriage. Now, a lot of people say, oh, ain't nothing really wrong with that, Prince. And I'm not going to argue with you about that. The part that I had to put the most is that the man was standing up there with his hand, oh, you know how a woman would do? Like she's excited. She's, you know, they cover their mouth and they get that how the man's emotions. Because the world is upside down. Men have become feminized, where the ladies have become, and nobody sees the difference in this. Nobody's trying to prevent it. A lot of times this happens through the food we eat. And when we buy food that is genetically modified with this stuff that this guy is putting out here, he has an agenda why he's doing what he's doing. Because if they can do that, they can make the women masculine and the men feminine, then that's less problem when they come over the earth. Because nobody's going to resist them. Because the real strength is in the men and up protecting their family. If they walk around sissified, who they going to protect? And what would they protect? They're too sissified. There is no defense. They know what they're doing, family. We have to understand what they're doing to get in the way to prevent it from happening. The best way for us to do this is to unify. The best way to prevent our destruction is to come together as a people, by people, live in the midst of our people, help learn to appreciate our people, raise up our leadership and our elders in our midst, give them the proper acknowledgement that they do, like people like Martin Luther King. I point out Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King has so many faults and traits about him, so many things about him that was so disrespectful, even to women alone. But yet, because the white man gave them to us, we him up as if he's the best that we produced. And he's not. He's not. A lot of notability, that's true. He had a lot of power in his hand, that's true. This man was guilty of a lot of things, so they reported. And so he confessed to. But they blowing our sight, and we accept what they give us, and we blow them up. And that's what it should be. Malcolm X was a devout leader. He was serious about what he did and who he did it with. They never got Malcolm on those sex scandals, no drug abuse, because Malcolm was serious about what he lived. Now we can look at a man, and Malcolm knew we were Hebrew Israelites. He knew that. He shared that information. But we have to look at people who understand and not only just teach the word, but their lives reflect that. We got to find these people and we got to blow them up. Those people are still alive today. There are a lot of great men and great women in our nation today that's worthy of honor and praise. And we got to just start blowing them up. Like Sister Tucilia, Sister Laurel. We got to start blowing them up. Sister Viagra, who been around here on these podcasts for so long. She's been diligent. She hasn't given up. She's still promoting those podcasts. People like this, we got to blow up. We really got to give our elders and our leadership their props. Elder El Natan, we got to give these people their props. Zakane Mikael, we got to give these people their props because they've been around here and they've been doing sacrificing things for so long that we know nothing about, or we know very little about. There's a lot we can learn from a lot of these elders if we just humble ourselves at their feet, walk with them, and let them teach us. There's a lot of elders out here today that we can learn from. And we have to trust that there's still, the Most High still left a way for us to be able to draw close to people and learn from these people. What's that brother named, Chief? What's his name? Who write the books?
Chief Prince Zebulon, Belewu Hideki.
Who we just got finished talking to the other day. What's his name, Roche? What's his name?
Chief Prince Zebulon.
See, we got to remember this stuff, y'all. These are the people we need to start carrying on our shoulders and lifting them up, because these men are fighting a war for us today. On the back scenes, on the back of the page. And how do we honor them? By ignoring them, by not helping and supporting them. Now, I talked on the phone with that brother for like a half hour. This brother got like 15, 16 books, right? But in the community, it's hard for him to get the proper recognition that he deserves. You know what? Because we haven't been supporting our own, but we need to start. We need to start. All right. So let's rock on, family. Are there any other questions or concerns before we move on? It's now the 1 o'clock hour. We got 1 hour left. Are there any other questions or concerns, family? All right. Very well. Do we have a reader that can read for us for this last hour?
Oh, Zeke had a law. I was going to read
apologies. Go ahead.
Okay. One
Please.
second. Leviticus 19:33-34. She said, although she did this the week before she left to go to Africa, she wanted to bring it up again to share the experience of the law. So
Is she
she
gonna
says,
get on?
now that I'm back,
She gonna get on the mic and
she
Amy,
doesn't want to. I asked her.
is she gonna get on the mic and share the experience, or she don't want to?
No. Low.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Now that I'm back, I want y'all to know how I actually was treated. Every village I went to the elders, every village I went to, the elders would go around to the children first and greet everyone. We watched the women cook and even got to cook with them. All the children got paired up, and even though there was a huge language barrier, we still had meaningful conversations. One girl that I was paired up with took me to her mother's house, and I met with her mother, and she was so happy. The people in the village could have casted us out and told us not to come back, but they didn't. And part of that was because we respected their customs and didn't go into their home and acted like Americans, if you will. That's it.
Like we own everything.
So,
Huh?
what was the commandment?
Leviticus 19:33-34.
What?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up.
And what does that read?
Okay, I'll pull it up. My bad. Salakli, I should have read that first. Leviticus, Wayikra 19, verse 33 through 34. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. I am the Most High your power. So Zika is basically saying that when they went to the villages, the elders actually came and greeted all the children, and they actually paired the children up with other children their age. And she said, even despite the language barrier, they were still able to bond. And she said, and the young daughter that she was paired up to actually took her to her mother's house. And her mother was so happy to meet Ezekiel. And then she said they were able to see the women cook and actually cook with the women of the villages. And then she said, Ezekiel ended it by saying, the people in the village could have casted us out and told us not to come back, but they didn't. And part of that was because we respected their customs and didn't go in their home and acted like Americans, if you will. So she's basically saying they didn't come in there trying to change who the villages were, the people were, or trying to be like, oh, in America we do it like this or anything like that. They welcomed them, and then they welcomed what they were learning, from what I gather from what she was saying.
Very good. May the Most High be praised.
Yeah.
I'm sure
She
Ezekiel
said
went over there and tore up some things anyway.
Yeah, she said, well, she did say she taught them how to play Jenga, because we brought some games from one of the stores, and I sent her with some games as gifts to the children that she met. So she was able to give them different gifts, but she showed them how to play Jenga, and so yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure she left something on record in their hearts, a good impression about the nation. All right. So, are there any other questions or comments, family? Anyone else wants to read anything? Have we covered everything? All right. Go to the book of Numbers. Volunteer to read, please. We're going to bring out some things today we're not aware of.
Selecta.
Cover some things. Yes.
Zaquina Tusila didn't do her commandment, and she's here.
Okay. My apologies. Celia?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Would you like to be?
Can y'all hear her?
Can you hear me?
No, you way in the background.
Okay, so my commandment is taken from Deuteronomy 22:8. And it says, when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence.
Mm.
And so it tells me that you are totally responsible and liable for the safety of others that are in your on your property, right? This is relevant today also, not only back then, but it's also more relevant today to me, because that is why we buy insurance. So that if anybody get hurt on your property, you'll be able to cover the cost for the medical, or whatever they need to restore them back to how they were before they got hurt. I think that this is a principle that exists not only in scripture, but also in this land. They and I'm sure that they probably got it out of the scripture also. And it does not only refer to how you build your house, but anything that is on your property. You have to consider the safety of others, even if they are uninvited. Even if your people are uninvited to your home, you have to consider just the safety of anyone that comes into your property or your sphere of influence. So that is my command.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you for that, sis. May praise. Very good commandment. It speaks of around the house, on your roof, so that someone goes, well, it should prevent them from. All right. So very good commandment. May the Most High be praised. All right, let's get started, family. I think we got everybody covered with the commandments. Am I right? We got everybody covered? So we're going to see today, our first part of our scripture is going to come from Numbers chapter 17. We like to blow the shofar, say a little prayer and all that stuff. We didn't get into that stuff. Roche, you got prayer for us, Roche, so we can get moving? How about that? Can you do that real quick? We only got like 40 minutes.
Okay. You said say a prayer?
Can you hear me? Yeah, short prayer. I'm gonna hit the shofar real quick. We're gonna say a little prayer, and then we're gonna do this little bit of a class, all right? And then we're gonna take our break and come back at 3 o'clock with our guest speaker for the day. All right?
Sort of. Torah, Torah. Orenu, Abinu, Malakinu. Our Creator, our King, our Father. We ask to approach your throne. Please forgive us for any uncleanliness, whether it be spiritual, physical, or mental. Torah, Torah. Torah, our great King, for being in person and also in the virtual. We give you all the honor and all the praise. We ask that you continue to mold us and direct us down the path of righteousness. Continue to correct our ways without any harm, hurt, or danger, but let your will be done nonetheless. We ask that you continue to look after Israel as a whole and continue to give strength and determination and intentional ways to the remnant of the remnant that could continue to keep you happy and could continue to teach others to praise you and continue to move no matter what. Through all their differences, through all the chaos that's around us, we ask that you be in the midst. Please look after our elders. Please look after those that are the gatekeepers of Israel. We need them and we need to protect them. We love you. We give you all the praise and all the honor. Please continue to look after Beulah land and allow this community to be a righteous example to those that are looking in, and actually teach those that are, if they're talking ill will about us as we continue to grow, have mercy on them. Have mercy on them if it's in your will. We love you and we appreciate you. We give you all the honor and all the praise. Torah. Aloeta Koa Kaniski. Praise the eternal power.
Well, I like that part where you said, even if they're speaking ill about us, have mercy on them. That's truly brotherhood, and that's how it's supposed to be. You know, you pray for your people who despitefully use you because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know. They don't have it right. But the Most High, may He have mercy on their souls. All right, family, we're going to go to Numbers, the 17th chapter. Now, in the Numbers, the 17th chapter is going to be picking up right off after Moshe and Aharon had to go through that situation with Korah and the 200 and something men, 250 men that came up against them. You know, the people felt like they wanted to rule the people. They wanted to take over and kick Moshe and Korah, Moshe and Aharon out of the equation. And they felt like Moshe, the accusations were that Moshe had taken too much upon himself, as if he wasn't chosen by the Creator. But when you're chosen by the Most High, the Most High will fight your battles for you. People will actually jeopardize all that they have to go against the ones that the Most High has appointed. And He will show them who is His anointed. He will show them definitely. So here we're going to pick up at that part where Aaron and Moshe are going to take these rods and put these rods in the house before the Most High. And the Most High is going to cause the one that He's pleased with for their rod to blossom and to bloom. And the thing about it is when they bloom almonds. And I want y'all to think about this for a minute, but an almond in its raw state is poisonous. Did y'all know that? Almonds in its raw state is poisonous. It has to be cleansed properly in order for it to eat. So what the Father is saying is that he about to drop some heads. That's what he really saying by that blood, that rod of Aharon it's gonna blossom, and it's gonna blossom almonds, and almonds will take your life. Watch what the Most High has to say. Let's read on, Amy.
Okay. Numbers, Bamidbar, chapter 17. And the Most High spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisrael, and take of every one of them a rod, according to the house of their fathers. Of all their princes, according to the house of their fathers, 12 rods. Write thou every man's name upon his rod. And thou shalt write Aharon's name upon the rod of Lewi, for one rod shall be for the head of the house of their fathers. And thou shalt lay them up in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony, where I will meet with you. And it shall come to pass that the man's rod whom I shall choose shall blossom, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Yisrael, whereby they murmur against you.
Now, the
Continue.
Most High said that he's going to fight the battle for you. And he's going to make to cease from them, contrary to have done all the work that you put in for the Most High's people for so long. Read on. So Moses goes in, he put the rods in, he laid the rods up before the Most High in the tent of the testimony, and behold, read on.
And Moshe spoke unto the children of Yisrael, and every one of their princes gave him a rod apiece, for each prince, according to their fathers' houses, even 12 rods. And the rod of Aharon was among their rods. And Moshe laid up the rods before the Most High in the tabernacle of witness. And it came to pass that on the morrow Moses went into the tabernacle of witness, and behold, the rod of Aharon for the house of Lewi was budded, and brought forth buds, and bloomed blossoms, and yielded almonds. And Moshe brought out all the rods from before the Most High unto all the children of Yisrael, and they looked and took every man his rod.
So all the men took their own rods back. How they knew which rod was theirs? Because the Creator told them to write their names upon their rods.
Right.
And that's what they did. So there was no mistaking the rod of Aharon that had blossomed and grew plants and almonds on it. There was no mistaking who the Most High's choice was. Watch this. Read on, please. Chapter and verse, please.
Yes. Bamidbar, chapter 17, verse 10.
Thank you.
And the Most High said unto Moshe, Bring Aharon's rod again before the testimony, to be kept for a token against the rebels. And thou shalt quite take away. Thou shalt quite take away their murmurings from me, that they die not. And Moshe did so, as the Most High commanded him, so did he. And the children of Yisrael
Now
spoke unto
Moshe. Stop there for a second, please.
Okay.
In that little lesson, please share with me. Think about this. Most High raises up an individual in the community, in the midst of the people. The Most High shows miraculous things taking place with this individual in position of leadership for so long of a time. All along, the people had evil in their hearts toward Moshe, but yet benefiting off of the back of the blessings that Moshe brought by walking in the ways of the Creator. First opportunity they got, Korah, Dathan, Abihu, and the rest of them First they came up. But before they came up against Moshe, they had to get the support of the people. So they went and got 250 people to support them in their overthrow of Moshe and Aharon. That's what they did. When they went and got the support of the people, they come up and they challenged Moshe and Aharon. Moshe and Aharon said, we're going to take this to the Creator and we're going to leave it to the Most High to decide who's his and who's not. I want you to think about this for a family for a minute. A lot of times when people challenge the servants of the Most High, duration of time shows you something very important. These people be high on a hog while they're challenging the servant. But in a matter of time, you don't hear anything from these people anymore. You don't even know who those people were. You didn't know who they were before they popped up. Who knew who Dathan, Abahu, and all those other people were before this situation? Nobody. Who were they? Nothing. Before they challenged Moshe, you didn't hear nothing about them. You didn't know who these people were. But now challenge a superior individual, a servant of the Most High, somebody who already was known. You know, Moshe was known in all the people. Now, all of a sudden, they get a little prestige. They get a little bit of a fame. But if these people was truly worthy of what they said they was there to do, the scriptures would have picked up and took off and they would still be around right now. But they're not. Their little moment of fame died. And after that moment of fame died with Moshe that they was trying to do, they died as well. They dwindled away. As if what they did was really motivated by something else. But when the Most High intervened and the Most High destroyed their plans, all that they attempted to do was left alone. And they went back into oblivion, being nobody and nothing to do with the significant things in the nation of Israel. You understand what I'm saying to you, family? They had 250 people by their side. So they had to be right, didn't they? Most people would think, how could he be wrong? He got so many people on his side. There's a spirit that governs the earth. And that spirit says that just because there's a lot of people on your team doesn't mean that these accusations are correct. There was a whole lot of people willing to do wickedness and evil, and very few to stand on the side of righteousness. A lot of people are swayed because there's a lot of people participating, and there's a lot of activity going on in negativity. So they were able to get 250 people to support them and to back them in their endeavors. But their endeavors was built off a false foundation. It was built off of a false foundation. And it took the Most High to shatter it. And it was destroyed. And after it was destroyed, you didn't hear nothing else about these people no more. Read on, please, and let's see where we at.
Numbers by Midbar, chapter 17, verse 11. And Moshe did so, as the Most High commanded him, so did he. And the children of Yisrael spoke unto Moshe, saying, Behold, we die, we perish, we all perish. Whosoever cometh anything near unto the tabernacle of the Most High shall die. Shall we be consumed
What
with
happened?
dying?
They understood that they were going to die. Why? Why were they going to be put to death? They were going to be put to death because they did such a uproar against the Most High's anointed. The Most High says, touch my anointed and do my prophets no harm. But they took it upon themselves to find the courage to go against the Most High's anointed. But what they didn't understand was that they wasn't going against the Most High's anointed. They were going against the Most High. They was going against the Creator. And not Moshe and Aharon themselves, but yet the Most High. Yes, they did. They're going to eventually die, but they didn't die right away. What happened was the people who started Israel, Moshe gave them an opportunity. Moshe said, "You can get on this side if you choose." In so many words, but this day the Most High is going to prove who's His. If something new does not take place in the earth today, then you'll know that I'm not sent by the Creator. And the earth opened up and swallowed all of those men who had did such a wicked thing. But Most High gave the people an opportunity to change their ways and to change their mind. It's just that a lot of people didn't do so. Let's read, please. Chapter 18. Now, in chapter 18, notice who it is that the Most High is speaking to. There will be very few chapters in the Torah where the Most High will address this one particular being on his own. Read on, please.
Okay. Numbers Bamidbar, chapter 18, verse 1. And the Most High said unto Aharon, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house with thee shall bear the iniquity of the sanctuary, and thou and thy sons with thee shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. And thy brethren.
What does that mean? Because a lot of people, hold up, please. What does that mean? Because a lot of people will read that and not fully understand what that means. Think about it for a minute. The Most High says, you and your sons, your father's house, shall bear the iniquities connected with the sanctuary. And you and your sons with you shall bear the iniquity connected with your priesthood. So now we get to that, but do we really understand what that means? The iniquity. Did you want to speak?
I was going to ask, is it concerning the transgressions or the responsibility?
It's very much concerning. It's very much concerning the transgressions and the responsibilities. Absolutely. See, any leader that sits in position of leadership over a community or over a congregation, he don't know this, but he bears the iniquity of the people that's with him. There are people in his midst that's doing wrong. A lot of that sin falls on his head. Unless he pulls their coat and say, hey, listen, you shouldn't do this because of this. He gets that sin up off of him. Now it's on them. But if he don't teach them properly the way to walk, all that they do falls on him. That's why you shouldn't be running to no leadership position, because you don't understand. One day out of the year, think about this for a second. The high priest never left the temple compounds. He never left the sanctuary portion or the temple compounds. He never left. All year he stayed in there. How much sin could a man have if he doesn't have the opportunity to go out anywhere and involve himself in anything? But on a day of atonement, the high priest had to first cleanse himself. Then he had to cleanse the altar. Then he had to cleanse the people of Yisrael. Because this verse that we just read, he is responsible for the sins of all the people. He took the sins of all the people up off the people and put it on the head of a goat. He alone had the ability to do so. Him alone, the high priest, who once a year, but before he can take the sins off the people and put it onto the goat, he had to first cleanse himself. What was his sins being cleansed from? Because as a man, as the priest, as the head, spiritual head, he was taking on a lot of that sin from the people. And he had to be cleansed first before he can do anything else. What did the altar do that the altar would need to be cleansed? The altar is just a vehicle that you offered sacrifices on. Why would that need to be cleansed? Because this is a spiritual matter that we're talking about, not a physical one. A lot of times people who stand in positions of leadership don't understand why their lives are going the way that it is. When you got a lot of people in your community, a lot of people open up the door for punishment that comes upon you so much more. You got to be careful that everybody under your leadership is doing their best to walk righteously before the Creator. This is why he holds you accountable for judgment over top of your people. It's your responsibility to teach the people the proper way of life to walk when they are worshiping, serving, and honoring the Most High King. And if you don't do that, when you teach and you're teaching foolishness and lies and one-sidedness for teachings, and you're not teaching the fullness of the law as you understand it to be, the people go out and commit all types of sins and abominations. That sin comes back to you as well, not just on them, because you are their spiritual leader. Same thing happened here with with Aharon and his sons. They were the spiritual leaders of the people above the average Levite. Now, the average Levite had that responsibility as well. But Aharon and his sons was the head of the heads. And it happens to them first, and it just trickles down through the rest of his father's house. But they carried the burdens of the people. Read on, see, please.
Okay. Bamidbar, chapter 18, verse 2. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Lewi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. And they shall
What
keep.
verse are you on?
I'm going into verse 3.
Verse 3. Numbers 18.
Cain.
I moved too far down. My apologies. Read on, please.
Okay. Verse 3. And they shall keep thy charge and the charge of all the tabernacle.
May I interrupt for a second, please? Can
Okay.
you please start back at verse 2? I lost my space, but there's some very important things that I need to cover here. So could you please start back at verse 2, please?
Okay. And thy brethren also of the tribe of Lewi, the tribe of thy father, bring thou with thee, that they may be joined unto thee and minister unto thee. But thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness.
Now I need y'all to understand this. 0. The Most High has order and structure in everything that he does. Roche was talking earlier about leadership having the 70, Moshe having those 70 men, how those leadership has to have individuals with them. This is a testimony to what Roche was speaking about earlier. The high priest, I just established to you that the high priest was the head of the priesthood of the Levites. But yet the Most High is saying, I don't want you to take this thing upon yourself. I want you to bring the rest of your brethren, the Levites, and bring them in so they can assist you in your job. Roche just got finished speaking about that. There's a lot of people in the nation of Israel who feels like they are leadership and they want to do it all themselves. One thing that makes a leader great, the leader, when he's the man, is the ability and capability of the other people around you or around him. They are all great. And if you got great leadership, they will make the leader even greater. The problem is that a lot of times you get men in that positions or males in that position and they want to do everything themselves. And you can't do that. It's not a good thing. And the reason why they want to do everything themselves because they want all the fame, all the glory, all the praise. They want it all. They want to be known. And that's not how the Most High has established things to be. The head of the head shall have fully capable and able men and women around him. Let's just deal with the masculine gender right now because that's what this is really about. There's no female priests. We're talking about the men having a tight union, a structure, a order, a discipline within themselves, an established discipline within themselves that will cause the nation to be healthy, the decision making to be healthy. They were to minister before Aharon, who was the high priest. The Levites were to minister unto him and his sons, which means that they are to give advice. They can't make him do anything because he was the man. But a good leader will listen to sound reasoned advice, no matter who it comes from. Just so happens that the people reported to the Levites reported to Aharon's sons and to Aharon. And that was the order of things. And Aharon reported to Moshe, or the creator. And that was the order of things. And you didn't break that order, but the Most High loves structure. The Most High loves discipline. And if you got an organization that's going to prosper, it's going to prosper because of the structure, the discipline, and the camaraderie that you have within the community. All right? Read on, please.
Okay. Bamidbar, Numbers 18, verse 3. And they shall keep thy charge and charge of all the tabernacle. Only they shall not come nigh the vessels of the sanctuary and the altar, that neither they nor ye also die.
So they was allowed in the tabernacle, but they couldn't go but so far. That shows you that those men who are around the leadership only can do but so much. They can't step outside of the task that was given to them. That's a part of the Most High structure. So those men that he had with him couldn't go beyond the assignments that they were given. If they did, they could lose their lives. If we can watch and mimic their behavior, we will learn a lot. But you got little guys trying to jump on the big men and trying to do the job of big men, and they little guys just in this way of life for two weeks, 2 months, even 2 years. But yet they want to be in a position of leadership as if they've been around for many years. It doesn't work that way. The Most High has set up a divine order, and we ought to fall in the proper alignment with the Most High's order. Read on, please.
Verse 4. And they shall be joined unto thee, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation. For all the service of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not come nigh unto you. And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary and the charge of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Yisrael.
Now, watch this for a minute. And they shall join you and keep guard over the tent of meetings for all the service of the tent. And no outsider shall come near unto you. They had order and structure. Nobody on the outside could just approach the head man. He wasn't accessible that way. They had to go through the chain link command. They had to reach out and talk to the Levites and the others. They had to speak to the Levites and the others before they could speak to Moshe, if they was even allowed to speak to Moshe. You can't just go straight in and get touch with the head man. It didn't work that way. I'll tell you this way. Let me ask you a question, family. Can you go into the courtroom and just walk up to the judge and start holding a conversation with the judge? Can you do that? No, you can't. You can't walk in a courtroom that's governed by the judge and just start having a conversation with the judge because you choose to. If the judge don't give you permission, it ain't going to happen. So what makes you think you can do that in the order of a community and structures on righteousness with righteous principles in place? It don't work that way. We're so far out of alignment. That's not how the Most High has it. An outsider couldn't even get close to the high priest. He had to go through the Levites. And the Levites brought it into the children of the high priest or the high priest. And that's the way it went. And that's order and structure that the Most High had established. And if you go outside order and structure, what happened to you? You died. You were moot. You were destroyed. Follow, family. we so lost in today's world. We just do what we want and how we, because we think so highly of ourselves. And that needs to change, because that's not how the Most High has it established. Order and structure is needed and necessary. And Roche is right. You can't even approach the Pope that way without going through his chain of command to get to him. You will get stuck, sis. Believe me. Now read on, please.
Okay. Bamidbar, chapter 18, verse 5. And ye shall keep the charge of the sanctuary and the charges of the altar, that there be no wrath any more upon the children of Israel. And I, behold, I have taken unto your brethren the Levites from among the children of Israel. To you they are given as a gift for the Most High, to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. Therefore, thou and thy sons with thee shall keep your priest office for everything of their altar, and within the veil, and ye shall serve. I have given your priest office unto you as a service of gift, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death.
Did you see that? Did
Yeah.
you see that? The stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. The stranger that takes it upon himself to act like he's a priest and try to take the priest's office shall be put to death. But did this happen? This happened right after Korah, who was of the Levitical way, tried to usurp the throne from Aaron and Moshe. Moshe said, no, that ain't the way we do it. The Creator said, no, that's the way we doing things here. Sure, they're Levites, but they better not step beyond the task that I gave them to do.
Absolutely.
If they do, then they should be put to death. We got to understand, family, every leader meant to be a leader. And those who are meant to be a leader, you better not step aside and try to harm them, because the Most High will deal with you. If you're not meant to be in leadership, you better not step in position, because the Most High will remove you with a swift and a gruesome hand. Believe me, family, he will deal with you. This order is being established by the Creator, not by Prince. I'm not making this up. I'm reading what it says in the scriptures. But the problem is that today people have no respect for order and structure. No. People have no respect for how the Most High has established things to be. Most people don't need the Most High has an order, but he does. Read on, please.
Okay. Bamidbar, chapter 18, verse 8. And the Most High spoke unto Aharon, behold, I also have given thee the charge of mine, heave offerings of all the hallowed things of the children of Israel. Unto thee have I given them by
offering. That heave offerings is the contributions, the offerings that people would voluntarily give. In this order, the priest had command of the heave offerings, the voluntarily givens of the people. But the problem is, not many people volunteer give to the service of the Most High.
That's true.
It's hard to get Hebrew to offer money to the service and to the works of the Creator. Buy some cigarettes, we'll go buy some. We'll go spend our money on a lot of things, but it's very rare that you find an Israelite who is consistent with giving the works of the Creator. Very rare. But they do. And when that money come in, the high priest, the priesthood, that money goes and what takes place. Read on, please.
Okay. The end of 8. And unto thee have I given them by reason of the anointing, and to thy sons by an ordinance forever. Verse 9. This shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every
Now,
oblation of
stop
it.
right there for a second. Stop right there. Stop right there for a second. I want to bring your attention to something. The most holy things, is that actually a word? I don't even know if that's actually a word. When I was doing my research and I was looking it up, it appears as if the most holy things is one word, Kodesh. And the rest of it they added in there. So that's all the holy things belong to the priest, the high priest. And it's for him to decide where these things go. Not just the priesthood, but the Levites in order. Read on, please.
Okay. Verse 9. This shall be thine of the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every oblation of theirs, every meat offering of theirs, and every sin offering of theirs, and every trespass offering of theirs, which they shall render unto me, shall be most holy for thee and for thy sons.
Now, when it
Verse
says
10.
the most holy thing, the only people that can eat of the most holy things are the priesthood and the sons of the priests. That's it. Nobody can eat of the most holy things. The funny thing is that if a priest purchased a slave with money, he could eat of the most holy things, but a regular Israelite can't.
Because he belongs to that.
Read on, please.
Cain. Verse 10. In the most holy place shalt thou eat it. Every man shall eat it. It shall be holy unto thee. And this is thine, the heave offering of their gift, with all the wave offerings of the children of Yisrael. I have given them unto thee, and to thy sons, and to thy daughters with thee, by a statute forever. Every one that is clean in thy house shall eat of it.
He said what? Everyone that is what?
Clean in thy house
Everyone that
shall eat of it.
everyone that is spiritually clean can eat of these things. So that shows you that the Most High is worried about your cleanliness when you approach unto him. He's focused on your spiritual condition. And your spiritual condition must be satisfactory in order for you to partake of the most holy things. Read on, please.
Verse 12. All the best of the oil, and all the best of the wine, and of the wheat, the first fruits of them which they shall offer unto the Most High, then have I given thee. And whatsoever is first ripe in the land, which they shall bring unto the Most High, shall be thine. Every one that is clean in thine house shall eat of it.
Everyone that is clean in thy house shall eat of it. Even the slave you brought with money, he can eat of the most holy things. But a Israelite can't. A regular Levite can't. Read on, please.
Cain. But Midbar, Numbers chapter 18, verse 14. Everything devoted in Israel shall be thine. Everything that openeth the matrix in all flesh, which they bring unto the Most High, whether it be of men or beast, shall be thine. Nevertheless, the firstborn of man shalt thou surely redeem, and the firstling of unclean beasts shalt thou redeem. And those that are to be redeemed from a month old shalt thou redeem, according to thine estimation, for the money of 5 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, which is 20 gerahs. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shalt burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto the Most High. And the flesh of them shall be thine, as the wave breast and as the right shoulder are thine. All the heave offerings of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Most High have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, by a statute forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Most High, unto thee and to thy seed with thee. Verse 20. And the Most High spake unto Aharon, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thine inheritance among the children of Israel. And
Very
behold,
well. We're going to stop it there.
okay,
We're going to stop it there because we're not going to have enough time to do everything that I need to do here. What I like
okay.
to do before we continue on is I like to hear from the family. What have you learned from these lessons today? What stood out to you today through these readings? You can, if you're in the audience, you can type it in the room. For the family that are here on the screen, speak to me, please. What have you learned that you did not understand previously? And how can you share the information to the family? What's new?
I would say, for me, I'm very familiar with what was with what was read. I guess the only addition I would say is the part about, which this is still not new when you think about it, but it was new as far as the Levitical priest for me, as far as if the person that are with them, they could eat of the most holy things if they're in that home with them and they're clean. So that part for me, as far as the order as dealing with Lewi, was new to me. But as far as connecting that, I connect that with what we always talk about. If somebody come to Beulah land or come, if they come in your home, they have to abide by and they have to do what you do. So that kind of connects with me a little bit, but I know it's different subject at the same time. But that was new to me. That was new.
All right, very well. May the Most High be praised. Amy, how about you and the people that's in the room with you?
I put a question in the chat.
Autumn put a question in the chat. It reads, does this mean the wife of the high priest can also eat of the most holy things?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. As long as she's
She
clean.
belongs to him. So yes, belongs clean.
Mm-hmm.
So what that mean about her? If she's unclean, can she food?
No.
She shouldn't be cooking his food.
Oh.
She could make him.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone else in the room with you, Ema, that wants to speak? Tell us about what they've learned from today's lesson. Anybody in the listening audience, you can just type it in the room. What is today's lesson?
We got
Every time you go into an assembly on the Shabbat, you should always learn something to take with you that will help change your life for your future, help draw you closer to the Creator. It should always be something that you take from that lesson or that sit down, that meeting, that union that you had, that you can with you so you can always learn things that will help you to better your walk with the Creator. Anyone?
Well, I think kind of just, to close this out, but I think the lesson today, honestly, just reading it, it was pretty straightforward. It wasn't sometimes reading is the wording or the verbiage rather can be a little difficult to understand the order of what they're saying, but it was pretty much, straightforward. I think the biggest thing, kind of like what Roche brought out, was the clean part. I never noticed that before either. And it may be because I think we put a lot of emphasis on being clean and unclean in our community. And it's not the emphasis to put people or make people feel bad, but to emphasize what needs to be separated for the Most High, you know? And so I think, if anything, that was the most prevalent thing that I saw today, just to remind us that, yeah, when you're unclean, especially back in those days, it wasn't even a worry of a person unclean really eating of certain things, because they usually were in a separate space anyway, in their own tent during that unclean time. I mean, we've seen it in so many different scriptures in the Tanakh, where if a person had leprosy or whatever they're going through, unclean woman or whatever, they had their own tent, so they wouldn't be partaking in clean eatings or, festivities. But I like the fact that it showed everybody that all those in that house whom are clean can partake. And so I think, for the most part, yeah, it was clear.
All right, Torah, may the Most High be praised. Can somebody put that post on the page, please? Sister Tucilia says, I'm learning that we cannot connect or be in sync with the Most High if our prayers require order. She's absolutely. See, now I had this whole lesson, and I capitalized on a lot of things. And I didn't get one person that says they did not previously understand about structure and order and discipline within the temple. Now, one person said that. Nobody said that when it came to leadership. They understood that you just can't approach the leadership as if he's just a regular man or she's just a regular man. There's regulations that you have to go through to get close to having an audience with those people. Nobody mentioned that. So why is it that we don't do it? If we already know that things are supposed to be done a certain way, why we don't do it? Why we just take it upon ourselves to just reach out to individuals and approach individuals how we see fit? Why do we take it upon ourselves to not hold up those individuals who are doing so much work in the background for our people? Why don't we shout those people out much more? Why don't we take pictures and treat these people like celebrities? Why we don't do that stuff? When you get in the companies of these great men or these great women, you should be wanting to take photos with these individuals so that one day you can post that on your page and say, hey, look, I knew him in real life. I knew her in real life. Blow them up, big them up, tell them about the accomplishments that these individuals have done, because we are writing history for the future. And I'm pretty sure that in Malcolm X days, I'm pretty sure that in what's that other brother name that we talked about that we were so disgusted in, Martin Luther King days, I'm sure in their days, people thought it was a small thing that they were doing until everything hit the fan and they saw that these things was writing and redesigning history. Because I want y'all to understand that. This brother who wrote all those books, if you ever meet him, Chief Zebulon, if y'all ever meet him, y'all should be taking pictures with this brother. Y'all should be bigging this brother up all over y'all social media page. Cohen Mikael, Elder El Natan. There's a whole lot of people that you should be knowing, meeting, and fellowshipping with and bigging them up, because these people are worthy of this in this day and time. Okay, you are exactly right, Shadia Granger, my niece. You're exactly right, because a lot of these leaders preaching and truly are not living what they speak. So why praise them? You are exactly right, but I'm not talking about them ones. I'm talking about the ones who have done great things in this life to promote us to the next level of things that we have to endure and achieve in this lifetime. I'm not speaking about perfection, because you're never going to find perfection in any man who is flesh and blood. I'm talking about the achievements and the great accomplishments and the enduring and the suffering that a lot of these people have went through. These are the ones that I'm speaking of. I'm not speaking of the ones that ain't even living the life, but yet get up on the podium and talk every week. I'm not talking about them. The ones who sleeping with all these different women in the background, but not, they're going to tell you it's wrong for you to commit adultery. And yet they got different women that they doing to, that they got in the background that they're sexing and lunching and all type of things with. We're not talking about those. I'm talking about those men who have made a lifetime of sacrifice to live the life that's pleasing to the Creator so that you can benefit from the sacrifices that they've made. Those are the men that I'm talking about, and none other. We have to get in the order of doing these things. We have to get in position of acknowledging the great men and women that the Most High have in our midst in this lifetime. We have to get into that, and we have to acknowledge it. We have to fall in love with ourselves, is what I'm really trying to say. And a lot of us are not in love with ourselves. When I say ourselves, I mean within the nation of Israel. We're easy to look outside of the nation to find people we can look at and lift up. But within the nation, we don't do that too often. So family, we'll be back here today. Post that on the page, please, what Iman Sakuri has written. I want to read that, please. Because I think she's saying, and this is what she's learned today. She says, so much from today's message was spoken on. What still has the most effect is children born out of wedlock. I think of how enslavement affected the community. I would agree with that. But in that instance, sis, they had no choice in the matter. They had to do what the oppressors made them do. So I pray that the Most High will have mercy on them for that. All right, family, we're going to take our break. Remember, we'll be back at 3 o'clock. We have a guest speaker from New York City coming in today to bless us with his words and his wisdom that he's learned over the years. Now, this brother was raised up in this way of life. His father was raised up in this life. He has a lot of brothers and sisters who have been raised up in this way of life. And I'm sure that he's going to bring a lot of knowledge this afternoon when he comes in. So we'll be returning here today, family, at 3 o'clock and 3 o'clock sharp. May the Most High be with you all. Creator willing, we'll see you all at 3 o'clock. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for coming out. Please like and share, and please invite those who we're about to present. I believe Roche has something he wants to say before we close out.
I just wanted to bring out this to solidify what you were doing and what you're bringing out. And Proverbs 27 says that the mouth of another praise you, not yours. The lips of a stranger, not your own. I think it's important for us to do what Prince is saying. With men and all women that walk in consistency, integrity, and good character, and their lifestyle is showing it. Because we need to outshine the wickedness that we're seeing. Praising other men that's doing wickedness. Gabriel was completely right. But in order to shine a light on righteousness, we have to showcase those that are righteous, to put fire under the butt of those that aren't. So that's why I wanted to bring out this right here. So luckily, that's all I have. So,
and just to add to what you say, Roche, what came to my mind while you were speaking is that our children need to see real life heroes that's in the same walk today. And if you're doing what you just spoke within your household, your child one day meets the elder that you was talking about in the household. That makes them feel good. That gives them something to look forward to. That gives them something to strive for. So yes, you're right. This thing trickled down throughout the family. And may the Most High be praised. Creator willing, we see you all at the 3 o'clock hour. Shabbat Shalom Lekim.